Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and children of all ages.
Hi, I'm John Sitton.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
Christian Carambeu.
Welcome to your footballing fix.
Pitch Talk.
Pitch Talk.
Pitch Talk.
We've got football videos on YouTube, blogs, debates and discussion on Facebook and Twitter.
Plus we do a podcast and so much more.
It's we the people, for the people.
For our videos, including our interviews and special features, check out youtube.com/Pitch Talk.
Our podcast can be found on iTunes, Podomatic, TuneIn Radio and Spreaker, with older podcasts on mixcloud.com/Pitch Talk. Join the football revolution, because the pitch is where we eat,
The pitch is where we sleep.
and the pitch is where we talk. Join us on social media by searching for Pitch Talk. What's up, everyone? I am Straight Shootin LJA, and you know what? Thought I'd record a bonus episode of the Straight Shootin View, because usually I'm kind of ranting about a topic, but this one's a little more serious. Just got through watching the Alan Shearer documentary, Football, Dementia and Me. A lot of interesting questions were asked in that, and obviously Alan Shearer is in kind of the perfect position to ask those questions, considering what I think the total was 260 Premier League goals, a fifth of those scored with his head. So if anyone was in a kind of informed position to be asking questions, it was him. Felt documentary was actually pretty good, to be honest. I'd give everyone an urge to watch it. In the description below, I'll put the details there to watch it via the BBC iPlayer. If you get to watch it, it's well worth a watch, because it asks some questions that really do need to be asked. Is there a conclusive link between dementia, especially early onset dementia, CTE, and also and is there a link between that and headering of a football? Now, obviously the research is kind of in early stages, but one of the main concerns for me personally, and one of the things that kind of annoyed me throughout, is the fact that, as Alan Shearer said during the documentary, it seems like football doesn't want to know the extent of the problem. And that is a major concern, because that doesn't only count to football and the links between headering and also dementia. It counts for quite a lot of things in football. Racism, homophobia. Look at the Eniola Aluko case with bullying. It's a case of there's a lot of things that football doesn't seem to want to scratch more than under the surface of. So that's one thing that kind of concerns. But back to Football, Dementia and Me, the Alan Shearer documentary. It's a case of just read that 1 million, a charitable organisation has actually agreed to do to invest £1 million into research. But considering this is something that is basically, if you look at the case of Jeff Astle among others and what's happening with Nobby Stiles, this is potentially killing off players early. And it reminds me a bit of what was happening in wrestling, pro wrestling, after the Chris Benoit double murder suicide. And there were a lot more questions asked, albeit maybe for a short time, but there were a lot of questions asked about the state of Chris Benoit's brain. When that happened, I think it was like an 86-year-old Alzheimer's patient, and he was like in his early 40s. So there's a lot more questions, and they were linking that to head trauma. Now you look at American football as well over the past few years, where they've been kind of very hot on concussion and setting up a huge fund worth almost I think $250 million. That was mentioned in the documentary as well, and it's a case of a compensation fund, that is. So for me, football has always been slow, and one of the things said in the documentary about the FA are kind of not waiting on UEFA and FIFA anymore. To me, you shouldn't be waiting on those two anyway. You shouldn't wait on the clown show upstairs, that is clearly a clown show, to do something that is for the well-being and welfare of your players. I mean, of course, the PFA, they're trying, but who controls the purse strings? I mean, you got to look at, it's the FA, it's the Premier League. If you can spend £5.136 billion, if you can generate that, just for, I think it was a 2-year TV deal, then if you can't invest some millions, maybe even billions towards quality, credible research into something that is basically part of the duty of care that you have, especially the FA as guardians of the game, then something's really wrong. Something is really wrong. But you know what? Keeping this somewhat short and sweet. As I said, bonus episode of the Straight Shootin View. It is one of them ones where questions need to be asked, and Alan Shearer did ask quite a few good questions. And I said, he's an ex-pro, and look at the amount of goals he scored with his head. He had every right to ask those questions. But the powers that be really need to be investing millions, even billions into this, because it affects so many players. Do the rules need to be changed? Football in the United States, they've banned headering for under 11s. I mean, I think even as a basic precaution, that should be invoked, at least in England, let alone Britain as a whole and in Europe. It's a case of, because as was said in the documentary, and as we've kind of looked at on Pitch Talk shows before, those brains are still developing at that age. So you can't be having bam, bam, bam. You can't be having those hits. Like, even when John Terry was saying he encourages his daughter to attack the ball, and is saying that if you attack it, instead of letting it hit you, it's causing less damage. I was thinking, well, no, that's kind of a naive way of looking at it. Because whatever trauma you're getting to the head, whether you're taking it or whether you're being aggressive about it, you're still having the same trauma, or at least very similar. So imagine if an ex-pro who is very well known for headering the ball and being a very good header of the ball is having that attitude, coupled with the fact that a lot of ex-pros who could be potentially donating their brains to the cause to kind of help it out are having this attitude of being, no, let's not change anything, then it kind of, in some ways, gives the powers that be a reason to say as well, if they don't care about it, why should we? And that should not be the attitude at all. I mean, the links, of course, at the moment are tentative, but I think what the US have done with banning headering in kids' games for kids under 11, smart move. Very smart move. It's one of them as a precautionary measure. Even if the research proves that there is no link, okay, cool, reinstate it. But as a precautionary measure, you have to protect the children, then you're protecting the adults, then you're protecting the elderly as well. So it all kind of goes into this rich long-term tapestry. But hey, so one of them was, I'd like to know what you guys think about it as well. Remember, at SSLJA on Twitter, at Pitch Talk on Twitter. Tweet with us, follow us, see what we're up to. Facebook.com/Pitch Talk as well. Become a fan, become a friend, become a member of the group. Join the footballing revolution we're working so hard to create. We're on Instagram at Pitch Talk as well. And of course, we've got podcasts too on iTunes, Mixcloud, Podomatic, and Spreaker as well. You know what? I have been Straight Shootin LJA. Really want to hear your views. Leave them in the comments below. And check out that documentary, Alan Shearer, Football, Dementia, and Me. It's on BBC iPlayer. If you can't get it via iPlayer, get it any way you can. Not that I'm advocating that, but it is one of them ones. It is definitely worth checking out. I've been Straight Shootin LJA, and I will see you next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages.
Hi, I'm John Sitton.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez. Christian Carambeu.
Welcome to your footballing fix.
Pitch Talk.
Pitch Talk.
Pitch Talk.
We've got football videos on YouTube, blogs, debates and discussion on Facebook and Twitter.
Plus, we do a podcast and so much more.
It's we the people, for the people.
For our videos, including our interviews and special features, check out youtube.com/Pitch Talk.
Our podcast can be found on iTunes, Podomatic, TuneIn Radio, and Spreaker, with older podcasts on mixcloud.com/Pitch Talk.
Join the football revolution, because the pitch is where we eat,
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
Join us on social media by searching for Pitch Talk.